Topic 2. Let's talk about your favorite game, which, as has been kind of the pattern here, we didn't talk about it all during topic 1. So let's talk about your favorite game, Kaylie, or the favorite game that at least you're at the moment that you're bringing up to the conversation.
Yeah, so I knew we were going to be talking about gaming history, so I specifically chose the game that we're talking about here. I chose one that I knew wouldn't come up so much in the gaming history, and one that was a little bit more pertinent. You know, I'm always a little bit behind on games because I don't usually play games at launch. Skyrim is going to be an exception. Fallout was an exception. Dragon Age was an exception. So I do have certain games that I do get at launch, but those are, you know, you can count on one hand per year. So you actually gave me a copy of Fire Emblem Fates.
I did, because I'm kind of awesome like that.
You are kind of awesome like that, and I went out and bought a 2DS just to play it.
Yeah, so I get that's the bonus. I gave you this extra copy that I got through a shipping error, and then yeah, you got a 2DS, so I get to make fun of you for that. So it's a win-win.
Yes, I was like, the game costs $20 less than the handheld, so really it's not that much. Like, you know, it's basically, you know, the game was a steal. But I loved Fire Emblem Awakening. I loved Disgaea. Like I mentioned it earlier in history a little bit. I found Disgaea at my video game rental place, and I fell in love with it. I loved the, you know, the kind of like chessboard strategy RPG, turn-based video game that was very novel to me. I'd never seen anything like that in my sheltered video game experience, and so I'd always been kind of really drawn to it and wished that there was more games in that genre. I hadn't heard of Fire Emblem. And so when Fire Emblem Awakening came out, I had heard of Fire Emblem from Smash Brothers eventually later on, but I'd never played one. And so I was really excited to finally really get my hands on a Fire Emblem, a new, shiny, pretty one, and get to kind of sink my teeth into that style of gameplay again. And I love any kind of romance in video games. Dating sims don't get translated into English, like, at all. And so you don't really get dating sims, so you kind of have to take what you can get. Like, I love Harvest Moon because it has that bachelor system, and, you know, I love the Dragon Age companions. I love any scrap of romance I can get in a video game because I just eat that shit up like fucking breakfast. Like, I just love it.
Such a hopeless romantic.
So I love, yeah, I do. I'm a shameless, hopeless romantic. I am a sap. I love it. So Fire Emblem had the, you know, the marriage system, and there's kids, and their appearance changes based on their parents. Need I say more? So I played Awakening, and I loved it. And so Fates I was really excited for because it was basically more of the same. You know, I iterate enough, but it keeps all the things I like. So I was really, really excited to get my hands on it. And I ended up, the copy you gave me was Birthright. I did not play Birthright. I bought the DLC version and got Revelations because that's the storyline I wanted. Again, it's like with Fallout, where I'm like, I want the ending I want. So, like, to me, the Conquest storyline is bullshit. Why are you just going around attacking people for no reason? Don't be a dick. The Birthright storyline is more reasonable to me, but I'm still like, I couldn't justify, like, in that situation, what would I do? I couldn't just attack innocent people for no reason, but I couldn't just betray the family that raised me either. I would have to do the Revelations route. Like, that is what I would do in that situation. Like, I can't play a route that is not the option that I would pick. I can't roleplay that. I can't get into that mindset. That's not me. So I had to play Revelations because that's the only way that I can get into this game, because that's the only route that makes sense to me. So I've been playing Revelations. I'm about 65 hours in. I haven't finished it yet. I don't know if I told you that, so I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
But I have all of my first generation people married off now. I have all of the paralogs unlocked. I waited until I had all the paralogs unlocked so I can get all of the children, and then I can start pairing them up. Very excited.
You went way in the weeds on this. because that was
Oh
my
yeah, no,
so my yeah I just to kind of throw in my 2 cents there. Awakening was my first Fire Emblem game as well, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. I definitely didn't go like as in the weeds as you did in terms of like I partnered up some of my characters, and but I beat the game, and that was pretty much all I needed to do. I didn't continue on and play like just endless side quests or anything. And so when Birthright came out, or Birthright and all of the Fates trilogy or whatever came out, I picked up Birthright and was like, to your point of like they iterated a little bit, but it was still too much of the same game for me. So I was like, okay, I played through it. I don't think I finished it either. I think I played through it and I got to, I don't know, one of like the late chapters of the game, and I was just like, this like I'm gonna go play XCOM instead, like to get that tactical experience. I wasn't connecting to any to like any of the characters. I was just kind of like skipping through any kind of dialogue things and the cutscenes and stuff. And I was just like, yeah, this just isn't. It isn't ringing my bells, and it's just too similar to the last game to warrant really me investing in like the game of it. So yeah, so I ended up walking away from it, and then like when because I left I lost my original 3DS on a plane when I went to Let's Play Live in LA. I just left it on the plane there in California, and just didn't realize it until I got home a few days later that
oh
oops, yep,
no.
I definitely didn't pull it out of the seat back pocket. So oops, there goes my 3DS and like copy of Pokemon X in it or something like that. But I would like Fire Emblem was like the thing I'd actually most recently been playing. I brought Pokemon along for the trip in case I was gonna play on the trip. But yeah, I was like, that didn't warrant me like picking up or I wasn't interested in like going back to that game. I ended up getting a 3DS again so I could play. And what I'm playing right now is Dragon Quest 7, like replaying that. The old it was a PS1 game, and coming back to that. But I put in my 20-ish hours into Birthright and was like, yeah, I'm done. I don't need to come back to this anymore. So when you brought it up as the game you wanted to talk about, I was like, okay, well, like I'll put in my 2 cents, but then she gets to talk about it because I've got very little to say on it.
Yeah, see, for me, it's so fun because I get so into like I said, it's just like it's all world building to me. So storyline means so many different things to me, and so for me, it's all like I look at these different pairings, and like I have Excel spreadsheets of like different couplings that I want, and like I'll do like their like C and B supports and see if I like where they're going and if there's like a chemistry that I see there. And like I have these really interesting pairs, like Perry and Keaton, and I have like a bunch of like the royalty from the two different kingdoms intermarrying and stuff like that, and to like kind of like strengthen the bonds of the kingdoms. And so I just kind of imagine like I have Takumi and Elise married, and so like all of these things, or like
I
I
don't
have
remember any of these characters.
yeah, so I have like Xander, who's the head prince of Nor, the the big tough going to be king of Nor, who's the main guy.
Is Nor the like the Japanese kind of toned characters, and then the other one are the European styles?
Nor is the European. Hoshido is the Asian. Yeah. Okay. So he's the blonde one on the horse.
Okay.
I have him married to the meek little youngest Hoshido princess who stutters. And so they have like these really cute scenes where she's like terrified of him at first, and it's adorable. And so like I just imagine like, what's that marriage like? Where like, he announces that he's gonna marry her. And so like I just like have all of these like little fantasy fan fiction one shots of like what they're like, what these wedding announcement pairings are like and things like that, and how these different relationships pair off each other. And I'm just a total sap, and so this is really fun for me.
Yeah, no, if I get my ass in gear on like editing, I'm gonna try and find like the pictures that you've posted about like your little like crazy beautiful mind style like diagrams of like who you're partnering up with who. I'm gonna try and put those in there.
Maybe if it's nice, I'll send you my Excel sheet.
I mean that works too. Like I'll if I can figure out how to edit a video, I will like have it overlaid like up here or something like that.
Because like I have the Excel sheet, but the problem is that what you wouldn't see is that to get the Excel sheet made took me printing out a rubric chart of what people can marry who that I got off GameSpot's Wikipedia, crossed with 2 scratch pieces of notebook paper of all of these different coupling combinations, crossed off and lines drawn and beautiful mind style bullshit, until finally I have them like circled and like starred next to the right ones, and then those all finally coalesce into the final neat Excel sheet that I can double check when I'm pairing units for battle. So like it's a process, but like that's the fun part for me. Like that's the game. So like, you know, you can say like the game, you're right, the gameplay is almost identical to Awakening. So from a gameplay perspective, if you're somebody who gameplay is first, you're going to play it and you're like, this is the exact same game I already played. Why am I going to waste my time? But for me, they're all new characters with all new personalities and all new marriages and all new kids. And so the game for me is the game of matchmaking. Like that's the game I'm playing. I'm playing matchmaker. And so this is super fun for me. And it's totally different than the last game. So it's again, that totally different perspective on it will change the game for you. And so I do think that I'm coming from a little bit different place there. And I get a lot more out of it than someone else would going in for something different.
And remind me how it, because in Fire Emblem Awakening, the conceit of why you could have like your kids fighting alongside you was like they came back in time, right?
It makes no sense in this game. It makes no fucking sense. So basically,
it's like you go into like a mystical world or something where they grow up and then come out of that rift.
So basically, because there's so much unrest and there's these like invisible enemies out, when they have children, they put them in these like pocket dimensions to keep them safe, and so that they can grow up without the fear of this invisible army getting them. But time moves more quickly in the pocket dimensions, so they grow up much more quickly relative to the universe that you're playing in. So they drop off their kid at daycare and then pick them up and they're 8 years older. So, you know, it makes a lot less sense than an Awakening.
I mean, it's just like Pokemon daycare. I think you hit on it right there. It's you walk around and they level up. But it all happens immediately.
In Awakening, it makes more sense because time travel plays a very important role to the plot. So you can get away with having these adult children. In the Fates games, I felt it made a lot less sense.
Yeah, no,
they should have gone
everybody loved that mechanic, and so they gave the barest of bare bones reasons to bring that mechanic back.
I mean, they've done it before with like Genealogy of the Holy War, where they had the 2 generations, but it was literally 2 generations where like there was a time jump and then people grew up. And so going forward, I don't think they can use that same trick a third time. I think they would have to go back to that type of, you know, time jump, which is tricky because then you usually have to like replace your main character and things like that, which can be tricky narratively. But I do feel like it was a lot more heavy-handed in that respect with the way that was handled, because it was very much like there was like, as soon as your first couple S-links, there's this cutscene where it's like, and then they threw their baby in a cave, and when it popped out, it was an adult because reasons. And I'm like,
yeah,
that seems pretty like you guys are shitty parents if you're just leaving your kids to grow up in caves. Like, this is weird.
So when you play Fire Emblem, am I correct in assuming that you play like the casual mode, so your characters can't deal with permadeath?
I play casual Phoenix, the easiest of the easy, where if they die, they come back to life the next turn. Because I don't give a fuck. I didn't realize what the Phoenix was there. Phoenix.
Yeah, I would play. I played casual, but it was like if they die, then I just need to be better in the combat. I don't. I didn't even, I don't
Yeah.
think I even knew that like that was an option of like, oh, you can bring them back the very next turn.
It's only available. It wasn't an option in Awakening. It's new to this game, and it's
Mhm.
dope. Like, I don't even have to try. As long
Nice.
as one character survives the round, the next round all your characters come back to life with full health.
Nice.
Um,
So
yeah, it's
this game is
totally dope.
entirely about the you getting your characters and getting them to bone.
Oh, exactly. Oh yeah, no, this is matchmaking the game for me. It's fantastic. I love every moment of it. But yeah, no, and it's totally up to you how you play. But I'm the kind of person that like Persona Q, I like fucking freaked out when I got to the difficulty setting, and it was like easy, very easy, and I was like, "There's a very easy? I fucking love very easy. That's an option? Yes. Is there an easier than very easy? Sign me up." Look, I just want to feel like a god when I play. I want to feel like the most powerful fucking wizard. Like, I just love that feeling of being unstoppable. Like, nothing can touch me. I don't have to worry about death. I just love feeling unstoppable in video games. Like, I don't like difficulty. I don't like dying a lot in games. I'm shitty in real life. Just let me be all powerful in video games.
There you go.
Like,
Video
that's
game.
what I think. Yeah, there's no shame in my game.
Nice. So in terms of like the story of Fire Emblem, outside of the all the matchmaking stuff, did you get invested in? You said that you needed to play the Revelations version of it because Birthright and Conquest go their different routes that you didn't want to be a part of. But like, were you like, did you get attached to like your? Because that's the you've got like your birth family, and then you've got your like adopted family, and it's basically about like which side are you going to be allegiant to, and then Revelation, which one, like what was that, and like what is the choice you make in Revelation? Is that you don't fight?
In Revelation, it stops at the same place that you make, where basically your two oldest brothers are like, pick our, come back to Nor, or, fight with us in Hoshido. And in Revelation, you're like, no, I'm not picking. Like, you guys need to stop fighting. There's no reason we should be fighting. This is ridiculous. Something is clearly going on. I'm not fighting anyone. And at first, both the older brothers are like, oh, well, if you're not with me, you must be against me. So you're just an enemy of everybody. But one of your siblings from each side is like, I don't know, Kaylie sounds pretty sensible, and like goes with you. And then slowly, the nice thing about Revelations is you get every character from both sides, so you play with the entire roster.
Mm-hmm.
So slowly.
So it's really all about more people for you to hook up.
Yeah, exactly. I can have way more pairing options because I can pair people from opposite kingdoms together.
Who did you end up hooking up with? Who did Kaylie-san end up boning?
My butler.
Your butler?
Yeah, with his throwing knives and his long white hair and the little bow. Oh yeah, sign me up.
Trying to psychoanalyze what that says about you, Kaylie. That you needed to hook up with your butler, somebody who has to literally do everything you say. That sounds exactly like your dream person. Yep, that's fair.
Start by picking the most beautiful character and then seeing if their personality is also decent. And Jacob is like top 3 Bishonen in the game to begin with, and then he's just adorbs. Like, he's so cute, so it was perfect.
Sure.
And then
tell yourself that.
Like, do I like them better with someone else too? So like, it can be hard. So like in Awakening, I didn't get with Crom because I really liked Crom and Sumia together. So like, that was definitely not an option for me. So I went with Ike's descendant Priam, who was a Street Pass character. Yeah.
I'm sitting here. I honestly couldn't tell you who I partnered up with. I'm pretty sure it was just whoever like through the normal like flow of combat that I had done became the first S rank. I was like, yeah, let's do that. Sure.
Sounds great.
Did not invest into it nearly as much time as you did.
I love it, but that's why I do it. Like, I'm a girl.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
I mean, in terms of like the combat and stuff, do you enjoy the combat itself, or is it just kind of a means to partnering up and matching up characters and stuff.
Oh no, I love that combat style. Like to me, I love it more in Disgaea because I love the ability, like in Disgaea, to like stack different characters and like create these towers, and you have the tiles with like the geostones, so you can get those like explosions with the combos, and like Disgaea is a little bit more like chaotic and fun. But to me, Fire Emblem is like, you know, they make jokes on like Futurama about like 3D chess and stuff, and to me, Fire Emblem is like really intricate chess because you have all these different characters. So like you have all these different pieces, and you can only have a certain number on the field at a time. So you have like 12 pieces, and they all have different amounts they can move. And certain pieces can only attack from far away. Certain, you know, so you have these different distances you have to be aware of. So it's like this really intricate game of chess, and you have to try to either, you know, take all of the other team's pieces or capture their king. And so I really do like that aspect of playing like that strategy RPG style where you have that tile based layout. I love games like that. I don't find many of them, so it's still a fun novel concept for me. So yeah, no, I love the combat system. You know, the rock paper scissors weapons, things like that. I think it's really fun.
Cool. Any other like standout highlights of Fire Emblem Fates Revelations?
I will say, on the whole, I think Awakening was definitely a stronger game. I feel like Fates got a little bit more lazy with the writing in noticeable ways. So like the endings were all very like they
well, then why didn't we talk about Awakening as your favorite game?
Oh, because Fates is more relevant because it's newer.
It doesn't matter.
You told me a game. Didn't say it had to be my favorite. I was like, what's my Fates?
Favorite game. The concept is like we talk about your favorite game.
But I don't know, it's fun.
You're ruining the show again, Kaylie.
I just do what I want. Damn.
I mean, that's a billion% true, absolutely. But so
okay, so yeah, I'm gonna say this, but like I loved the My Castle of Fates, and Awakening didn't have anything really like that. I loved like going through and like going to like the hot springs and going to the Coliseum and like you know interacting with all the characters like that. I thought that was really fun.
I got annoyed because I don't know if I missed a tutorial or something, but I didn't know you could like build out your castle for like 10 chapters. I played through 10 chapters with like the same basic stuff that was there, and I was like, what? Like, I feel like I should have gotten more things by now. And then I eventually like accidentally hit a button where I was like, oh, that's how I get more things and how I can add stuff to it.
It's perfect because you have to talk to your butler, who's my boyfriend. So of course I wanted to talk to my boyfriend. So I run up to Jacob and I'm like, hey Jacob, and he's like, you want to build a statue? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to build a statue. And so like I have all my statues built so that the people that are paired up with S ranks are all facing each other. All over the courtyard, they're like their statues are paired up too. It's really fucking cute.
Nice.
So you know so they're like I said, the writing I think is better in Awakening, and I can go more into that. But I had more fun with Fates. I did. So it is hard. So like I think objectively, Awakening is a better game. Like if you really think about it, and if I had to defend them. I would probably, like, if you asked me to be in a debate and which side did I want to be on, I'd probably want to be on the side of defending that Awakening is a better game. But I've had a great time with Fates. It's been this perfect game to even just, like, turn the sound off when there's no cutscenes and just listen to podcasts and play. Yeah. And there's not a lot of games I can really do that with.
Well, not the story-driven games that you love, no.
Exactly. And so like when there's a cutscene, I can pause my podcast and listen to it. But I love story-driven games, but I want to listen to podcasts. And so it's this weird kind of oxymoronic passion coming together where I'm like, fuck, I want to like listen, I want to play this game, but I don't want to have to be able to need sound. And so Fire Emblem has fit me so perfectly for what I'm looking for that I love it. And so you know, Awakening was probably a stronger entry in the series, and I feel like whatever they do next, hopefully it takes the things about Fates that I liked. Like I did really like that cast system and the building it up and things like that, and it had a much larger roster, and I really think that its storyline was a little bit more interesting, because Fire Emblem Awakening's storyline was a little bit more of that cliche, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, Final Fantasy, like, gather the stones, you're the chosen one, everything's better, kind of thing, with like that barely twist about you as the main character. So, it's kind of hard to say, but I really have enjoyed my time with Fates, and it's definitely something that I'm going to finish. It's just something so great to like pick up and chip away at every so often. And Persona 4 Golden was something that I always played at cons. Like, Golden was such a perfect game to be like, okay, I'm at the airport, let's play. Okay, I'm in line for this panel that doesn't start for another hour. Let me play some Golden. And I really think that's what Fates is going to be now. That's what I played at PAX West. I, pulled out Fates and was playing it. And so that's really what I see going on from here on out with it. And It's just been great.
Makes sense. And yeah, like I mean, I totally get the, like, game A is objectively better, but game B was more fun for me, so my favorite is going to be game B. That's what I did with my, like, Fallout 4 was my game of the year last year, whereas I could objectively say that Metal Gear Solid 5 and Witcher probably better games, and I could gladly argue for why those are better games over Fallout 4, but Fallout 4 was like the most Trevor game of last year, so that was the game I went with for my game of the year. So yeah, I can appreciate that sentiment. So I'll give you the pass there, and we don't need to rehash and I don't need to like scrap the last 20 minutes and then say, well, actually, we're going to talk about Fire Emblem Awakening because that's her real favorite game. So cool. Anything else you want to kind of like wrap up with, or are we good to move on to the next topic?
Let's go for it.
All right.